Hello to my Virgos. All right, Virgos, let's get right into it. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. All right, Virgos, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, Virgos. Let's get right into your reading. This is going to carry us out to May 31st. Let's do it. See what's in your cards. See what's in your cards. Overarching theme is really about being impulsive, making impulsive decisions because the moon is in Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is a very Mars is a planet of physical energy, masculinity, sexuality, anger, temperament. It rules Aries. Aries rules first house, and first house is about personality, temperament, appearance, self-image, first impression, self-awareness, outlook on life. We're not talking about any Aries that you know, any Aries in particular, right? So we're talking about first house, right? So this is a general reading, so take only what resonates with you. If you're interested in a personal reading, my information is down below. And this is about making impulsive decisions. I am valued by my community. I am would be source, God, the creator, higher power. I am, right? Making sure that you are valued by your community. That same creator inside of you is inside of everything on this planet, everybody and everything. So you want to make sure everybody feels that way, that they are valued by their community. What's coming to me about you all, especially since you all symbol is a virgin, right? I'm talking to men and women, obviously virgin. You're doing something for the first time. That's what I mean, virgin. Um, is like doing something for the first time. Is that story about the Sumerian woman stopping at Jacob's well, right? The woman at the well, and it's called Jacob's Well. And we're talking about the book John 4, 1 through 42. And it's a story that's rich with spiritual, cultural, and symbolic meaning. And just how this Sumerian woman was judged, you know, that, you know, she had 5 husbands living with a man who wasn't her husband. Um, and just how this person was perceived, you know, to be. And a lot of people are not valued, you know, by their community based on their past. And I'm saying this because the judgment card is retrograde, Pluto, which could cause a lot of ups and downs in people's lives and cause a lot of, you know, like it's an outermost planet, it's a generational planet. And people coming into new communities are judged by their past. They're judged by their family. They're judged by where they, you know, used to work, judged by who they know, who they're connected to, and all of that other stuff. And, you know, that determines their value and their ranking in a community. And the key themes for that particular book is about redemption and grace, you know, living water, revelation, evangelism, those kind of things. So it's a perfect opportunity for people to say, okay, let me try something new, you know, in this virgin state. Let me try something new. Let me objectively step outside of myself, remove myself from everybody else's impulsive behavior, jumping to conclusions about people, and let me step back and let me not be like other people and let me try something different. Let me be different. Okay. If I meet somebody who's been married several times or who has kids by different people or who's judgmental, let me do something different. Let me not be a familiar spirit. Um, Let me detach myself from other people's behavior because I wouldn't want that done to me. Let me take the time to slow down and get to know people because I want to be valued and I want to value the same God that's in me is in other people. So let's get into your reading. Let's get into your reading. So Aries ruling first house, we can have a first impression, which could be a lasting impression about people. Um, But sources saying, you know, look at it from both sides of being judged and how it feels to um, be on the receiving and sending side of being and receiving the judgment of humans, right? Of playing God in people's lives. 483, inner acceptance, receive self-love. 483, right? The quickest way to find acceptance in your life is to first gift it to yourself. Your angels notice that you need to work on positive self-talk and self-care. Sit in meditation right now with your hands on your heart chakra. Repeat this mantra a few times until it begins to sink in. I receive self-love. This color pink speaks to the heart chakra. Speaks to the heart chakra. Let's get these pink cards out. Yeah, the Judgment card, which is Pluto, is retrograde until October 14th, and it's causing a lot of emotional roller coasters for a lot of people in these karmic cycles, and they're not trying to break these karmic cycles. People are looking for any reason to judge people and phase people out because they feel like they're in a position to judge and play God in people's lives. They want to be valued by their community, but they don't want other people to be valued in their communities. So they're playing God in people's lives, using people's past against them. So prepare for an increase in pay, right? The spy is now turned on. I'm talking to you wherever Virgo is in your birth chart. Your ancestors have a message. You are an answered prayer. Always bet on you. There's something that you're trying. You're saying, I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to try something different. And Source is the one that's rewarding you, right? Because somebody must be doing something where they're saying, you know what? I know what it feels like to be judged. I don't like that feeling. I'm going to step outside that box. I'm not going to just go along with the flow. I'm going to do something different. Good decision. Good decision. Because people are just kind of tired of people just kind of being just kind of like, just, you know, following these God complexes. People who feel like it's their way or the highway. And the spy is turned on. So, like I said, you are an answered prayer. And like I said, being valued by your community, not for just a popularity contest. You are who they prayed for. So prepare for an increase in pay. Um, Toss something into a burning bowl, like confusion, fear, doubt, whatever. New love awaits for someone. So take your time to decide. You have the gift of clairsentience. You pick up on people's vibrations, their emotions, their moods, their feelings. Much better lies ahead. Exactly. Much better lies ahead. Somebody's like, you stifle your growth when you don't see source in other people. Somebody is a python. You have a spirit of lying. That's 1 Kings 22:21-22, right? So Angel Raphael, the healer and protector of travelers, is with you, right? So your peace is paramount. Somebody's not happy without you. Somebody's not happy without you. But somebody's not happy with themselves. Whoever this is, they're not happy with themselves. So yeah, somebody's definitely dealing with a karmic who feels like something is their way or the highway, and they're saying that they love you. It's almost like I said, they have a split tongue. Whoever this ex is, it could be somebody's ex. They say they love you, but there is something is their way or the highway, and when they don't get their way, it's like they throw a wild tantrum. Um, and they like to judge people. They like to talk about people that they love. It's just like I said. So how do you love somebody and want to end somebody? You want to phase somebody out. So this could be an ex-friend, ex-love interest, family member, whoever it is. You're preparing for an increase in pay because something about them is like you rather phase them out and not even deal with them, just because of just how they are and how they talk about people behind their back. Because like I said, you're receiving self-love. You're focusing on self-love. They like to make people feel worthless. They're just cold, right? And so you're learning how to put a manhole cover, in the past. But somebody was kind of stuck, like in the middle of something. Like somebody felt like you were at number five of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. and just in receiving mode of like all these downloads somebody was getting about a younger person here. So kind of like split, kind of split. I'm trying to make a decision in terms of love. But that's what love feels like, because the heart chakra speaks to, it's a gateway. It's this gateway between the physical and the spiritual realm, right? And when, and that's what the enemy will use. Somebody, it's like the, if there's a young person involved, it kind of speaks to like, like again, what the enemy will use. And like, for instance, if it's a young person involved, like trying to decide who the like using your wisdom, like if you're a parent or grandparent and a person is trying to use a child, because we got page energy with this youthful energy, trying to use a child, um and who the parent is, um who the real parent is. Like in this story, I was going to say who the real mother is, because that's what the story is. Story is about, but like who really loves the child, right? And this story kind of goes like who the real mother is, and like, okay, um, and one of the mothers said, you just cut the child in half, and one mother takes the child and cut the child in half, and just gives a half of the child to this parent and the half of the child to the other parent. And the real mother was like, no, just let the child stay with that parent. I'd rather the child be safe. There's a whole child over there, and just pray, for the child. Um, and so it was determined who the real parent was. And so somebody had to make a decision by just in seeing something in the physical sense, who the real, parent was. And so I feel like for you, something for you, seeing somebody being like this, feeling worthless and just feeling depressed. Sometimes you see a person, they just seem like they don't feel valued by anybody. You see something like 8 is a karmic number, but it's a death number. It's like they feel hated. You just see something like you just see the opposite of love. Like it seems like somebody talks to them like they absolutely hate somebody. That's what it feels like. You see a person who just feels like they talk to somebody like they hate somebody. Um, and so somebody has to make a decision about something, right? But it's really like a person hates you, but they're taking it out on a kid, right? So you're getting a message. A message is coming through real clear for you about love. See these two hands right here? Just the spirit of love is coming through for you. That something for you is like you would never go back to something, even if you saw a pig fly through the sky, of just like in the physical realm, how a person could hate you so much that they could take it out on a child or a younger person, or at least a person's inner child. If you're not physically there, they can take it out on another person so much. And so that's where for you have some kind of inner acceptance of self-love, of just like how being valued by a community, um, how important that is for some people. For them, they want to be a part of a community. So somebody is saying, like I said, much better lies ahead for you. You're tossing something into a burning bowl. Um, and so a light came on for you in hermit mode. Some kind of light came on for you in hermit mode, but somebody's learning how to rise above the judgment, some kind of generational something, and getting ruthlessness is some kind of coming out of this free spirit. What kind of free spirited energy and all of this? Because there's duality to this too. Free spirited energy, like I said, like this story about, a woman at the well, just a story there. And This energy ended up being we know that story of like who the energy was met by, and knowing that the I am is in everybody. Everybody has a testimony. Somebody's learning how to rise above the judgment of things. Source is exposing a lot of energies. Source is really exposing how judgmental a lot of energies are. Source is because source holds the key to a lot what goes on behind a lot of people's doors. Yeah. And a lot of destiny swapping, and why a lot of people want to have other people's lives. That's what source is doing. And this destiny swapping, source is exposing it. He's exposing a lot of people's secrets. That's what the moon is. There are people talking about people behind their backs. He's actually showing the cracks in he's showing the cracks in them. So the gossiping, because gossip really was originally sharing the gospel of the Savior. That's really what the gossip really was. Originally was supposed to be for. But the gossip has turned into something demonic. People talking about people behind their backs at work, what kind of work they do. They ain't talking about anything else. And then people feeling worthless. Yeah. That's why you got Eight of Swords here. You got Eight of Swords here. And then it goes back to Seven of Swords. Because people will look at a person and say, I want their life. They'll want a destiny swap with some people until they start talking about other people. And you hear how people talk about them behind their back. And then they go, oh, I don't want their life. I didn't know that about them. I didn't know that about them either. When they start hearing the character assassination behind people's backs, then they go, oh, well, they're not really valued by their community the way I thought they were, right? But what they miss out on is the kids. The kids hearing all of that, they hearing about people behind their back in the workplace and how ruthless people were in the workplace, talking about them. Oh, they do this kind of work, they do that kind of work. So that's what I'm saying. Source is exposing a lot of people who judged other people. And that particular story came up. Um, that particular story came up because somebody that you know, somebody's ex, I'm talking about your ex, who was ruthless about you, who judged you. And this is why new love awaits for you. Because it's all going around in a circle, right? It's not somebody that you love. It's not somebody that if you're currently with somebody, it's not their ex, it's your ex, right? Your ex, whoever your ex is. Um, your ex's colleagues are saying about them as dragging them into something like exposing their past, if that makes any sense to somebody. Um, So everybody's past is under judgment. Like literally everybody's past is under judgment. So everybody who thought they were safe about their past is not. And people are going to believe what they want to believe. That's the other side of the Hermit card. It's the Moon card of everybody's secrets are coming out. And so just like anybody else is gossiping, people are going to ad lib. They're going to tell their little piece of whether it's a truth or a lie, whether it's a truth or not. And guess who's now hearing it? It's the younger generation hearing stuff. And so that's what Source is saying to you. Here's the Hierophant. Some people are going to be stuck. They're going to be just kind of like, so somebody now has an innate spiritual understanding of just the material world. I mean, really, somebody has an innate understanding of how the devil is in the details. The devil is just really in the details of things, and how people can really be kind of sort of chained to a particular belief system, and they can be obsessed with something, really believe in something. Two people are really obsessed with believing something. They really are obsessed. Two people are obsessed with believing something. Yeah, that somebody had just was a snake. They got away with something, and under some kind of a judgment. That somebody was tied into something. I mean, just obsessed. Yeah, that somebody need to be saved from something. Somebody didn't look like what they had been through, walking out the house. I mean, just like here we had the magician card. Um, just in some kind of confusion, caught up in some kind of confusion. So, saying your value by your community, that great I am, the God part, something was absolutely made to make somebody feel worthless. Somebody's learning how people can turn people against each other. This temperance card speaks of also triangulation. It's like seeing something at a higher frequency, but it also speaks of a particular community of energies. Somebody has a very jealous ex who is really a snake. And as soon as somebody's scales from their eyes came off and they saw who they were, what type of energy they were in a relationship with, you can even see this inverted triangle here on the side of the horse. This person came in like they were just this knight in shining armor. They came in like they were, like this savior of something, and just this mouth full of lies. But they were just ruthless. I mean, ruthless, and even telling lies, trying to get two people, trying to really literally do a destiny swap with two people's lives, using an organization to do it. Just wicked, 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 wicked. Wanted somebody chained to something. Yeah, until something was brought to light. And somebody was actually working. And remember, in tarot, this is until unless and like two people were actually just working, not hard working, right? That they had actually worked for financial independence. I mean, the shame. Yeah, just kind of trying to get some things structured. Remember, this is genderless. All of this is genderless. So somebody is not happy without you, and so somebody's now learning how that this is pretty common when you're dealing with people who have a God complex. They will try to ruin some energy. They would literally burn down an entire tower. They would take down somebody's entire everything when they don't get their way. Literally. So somebody is now starting to wake up. Like, okay, now wait a minute now. So somebody feels like if they cannot have you, nobody will. Um, so much better lies ahead. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, this needs to be cut off permanently, and I'm talking about for real permanently. Like this judgment card, this is something. I mean, like literally a death, meaning like an ending permanently, as in everything on Earth is connected, but this energy, whoever this needs to be a generational curse broken, meaning the chain needs to be broken in order for something to stop. Um, this is the only way somebody's going to save themselves for real. But somebody has really worked way too hard for you to be financially independent, to keep going through this cycle, this karmic cycle. It's like somebody's going through lifetimes of a karmic cycle with someone who is just it's like somebody's literally following you through generation through you, and it's like somebody's literally in the spiritual realm, somebody's following you through generations of just a karmic cycle after one karmic cycle. If that makes sense to somebody. Like somebody's going to have to instill in their kids. This is the only way this karmic cycle is going to be broken for real. Somebody's going to have to instill self-worth in their kids. Stop wanting to be a part of any kind of community that does not want them. That's the only way it's going to be broken. Because all of the other stuff is an illusion. Wanting to be a part of something that doesn't want them to be a part of something. Not knowing your worth and knowing your value. Yeah, your peace is paramount. Because somebody is trying to make it seem like their community is better than, and all of these secrets floating around, and somebody's a hardworking person, and worked really hard for their financial independence, and people having to keep going down this rabbit hole and finding out that people are actually working hard for what they have, and then finding out these people are lying and really trying to attach themselves to other people's good dharma, while these energies are basically like, mm, yeah. It's literally like when I look at the cards, it's like you worked really hard for what you have, and then somebody X who's done all of this scamming and stealing and all of this mess to want to attach themselves to what you worked really, really hard for. And so no matter where you go physically, they follow you around, literally like follow you around. They literally follow you literally through dimensions. So you're trying to call all of your power back through every timeline, dimension, every portal, everything. You got to call all parts of you back. And you're going to do that through your kids, generationally, letting them know, like, you got to know your worth and know your value. Your kids, grandkids, all of that. Like, hey, you can love somebody deep, 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 deep. They say something emotionally immature to you about something, nah, put a manhole cover over that thing. Save yourself. As soon as the scales come off your eyes, no, it's time to move on. Nope, that's going to be a no. That's going to be a no. Your peace is paramount. You're not playing those games. Let whoever think whatever. Rise above the judgment. Let whoever think whatever. They want to do a destiny swap. They're playing mind games, trying to do a destiny swap. So this is the beginning of something. So there's still time to adjust or start over. Feel life flowing freely through your being. All your wishes can come true in the creative potential of a new beginning. Yeah, so instant manifestation. Soul and mind working through together, create a dream in your heart. You have nothing to lose. You carry the dream. Your intention is pure. Be ready to receive. Somebody was on a lot of energy harvesting. Whoever you were dating or married to or had kids with or whatever was stealing your energy. That's what I mean. That's what it really boiled. I'm talking to men and women, Virgos. They were literally stealing your energy. So you started to see their life get better as yours was just kind of deteriorating. And somebody could see it through their kids. It was like they were literally stealing your energy, your energy and your kids' energy. You were literally saving them while they were telling everybody they were saving you. Everything was going down, down, downhill. So that's where the prayer warrior has to come in. So they were keeping somebody chained to them, like keeping your kids or grandkids chained to them, stealing your. So every time it was like they was siphoning your energy. But that's what somebody had to work harder in their prayer time, like literally get, yeah, And you saw the physical evidence of your money just dwindling away. Somebody couldn't figure it out for the life of them. Couldn't figure it out. Just like somebody couldn't figure, why was your money just going down, physically going down, 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 down. And it seemed like these energies had gotten away with something. And so something in you was like, okay, you playing nice. Okay, you're gonna have to get ruthless. These energies are ruthless. They don't care. They're gonna keep going until you end up the complete and total destiny swap. So you're gonna have to, when ruthless is not doing something illegal, it's like in the spiritual realm, it's basically like it's gonna have to be a complete cutting off of some energies, like completely cut them off. Let people judge you regardless. Cut them off. They trying to chain you to their karma. They're like karmic cycle, generationally karmic cycle. So don't hide. Dare to dream big. That's it. Dream big. Like big head. You got a big head for a reason. Dream big, right? So remind yourself that everything is possible. Don't hide your talents and abilities, but use them to build your world. Yeah. Instant manifestation. Your peace is paramount. A no is a no. These energies been lying to everybody, making it seem like, they had, if it wasn't for them, they worked hard for everything they have. They put you out of something. You didn't have anything until they came along. Like what? Yeah, flex without agenda. Yeah, so pure love and everything you have dreamed of will happen when you are ready to give love without expecting anything in return. True givers receive. Yeah, flex. Put it out there. You didn't fall off the back of a turnip truck. You worked for what you had. These energies are lazy. They come in, they make it seem like they come in stealing stuff. That's why some of you all, after your relationship is over, some of these energies, they've done all kinds of stuff. They've done stuff to have people put out their homes after you worked really hard to get what you had. They did all kinds of stuff, swapping stuff, lying, just doing stuff, getting with these. Child, a mess. It's a whole mess, a complete and total mess. Dragging people into stuff, not telling people a full story about stuff. Just jealous. So somebody learning. That's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. But somebody's not happy without you, but you're going through some major life changes right now. And but like I said, the devil is in the detail about two energies that did something behind two people's backs, because for them it was their way to the highway, but you're not confused about. You're right there at the vault door. Might have been working really, really hard, but much better lies ahead. You might have been working with some real cold. I mean, like energy was just cold hearted. So something about your inner child, though. Something about your inner child. It's your Chiron. But yeah, that's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. See you in the next video. All right. Bye.